Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. The very things that our Constitution, our founders cast the vision for our nation, whose members would enjoy unparalleled freedom because of these basic truths. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Unfortunately today, many have lost the pursuit of happiness in favor of the guarantee of happiness. They're mistaking what we have as a guarantee in that pursuit of happiness. These founding fathers believed in individual worth, individual rights. And while challenging realities faced by nations that prey on individual and economic liberty sometimes remind us of the particular blessings we enjoy, we take these rights so often for granted. I believe one of the things in our society today that is beginning to pervade us, Mr. Speaker, is a society that does not value life or liberty or the pursuit of happiness. In fact, I believe there is an anti-life culture that is developing, one that does not value the personhood that comes at conception and ends at natural death, the one that says that we are made by God in His image and we have infinite value not based on who we are, but based on the fact that He breathed life into us. It is an abortion culture, an ending culture that we are being strangled with in the United States. Abortion is literally killing generations of promise in our country. But yet we have some who really just want to turn their back. They believe it is a choice. I'm so glad, Mr. Speaker, that your family didn't view it that way and my family didn't view it that way. Because when you look at life, you take life as God has given to it, and it is only up to Him who gives life, the maker, creator of life, that determines the potential and the possibilities. And whatever path we go on, He has given us that hope. In my own family, this became very real for me. Many years of pastoring, but it happened back in 1992. You see, there was a young youth minister and his wife, excited about the news that they were going to be parents. Everything was great. Everything was moving along. They were working. They were doing everything that they thought that they were supposed to be doing until one day my bride called me and said, let's do an ultrasound. We got one last ultrasound. The doctor wants to do one last ultrasound. And I came running back. I was off on a business trip, and I got back just in time to get there. They were doing the ultrasound. Ultrasounders are amazing because they show life, not a fetus, not a blob. They show a life in the womb. It starts then when God breathes it in. If you don't believe me, just take a look. And even back then, when they started to go around, I could see my child, who I had not had a chance to meet yet. And then a little bit later, the nurse stopped and she said, I need to go get the doctor. And at that point, my wife looked at me and she said, something's wrong. And tears started coming down her face. I said, sweetheart, they just going to get the doctor. He's just going to look at it. It's all good. She said, no, something's wrong. It came back. The doctor looked at it. He said, I need to show you something. And on a little spot, a little white spot that I could have not told the difference of, the doctor told us the words that have now rung for me for almost 23 years. He said, Doug, Lisa, your baby has spina bifida. He actually used a big term called myelomeningocele. All I knew was something was wrong. We spent the next few days in sort of disbelief. We knew this was not a mistake. We knew this was not anything except we were supposed to have a child, and undoubtedly this was just going to be a little bit different. We talked to doctors. We found out. It just continued on. And then one day, Lisa went back to school after it would become known that we were having an issue and the pregnancy was now going to be high risk. One of the teachers came up to Lisa and said, you know you have a choice. And Lisa looked at her and said, well, we're going to Atlanta and we're going to have the baby in Atlanta. And it was the doctor. She said, no. You have a choice. You don't have to keep going. And at that point it clicked. This teacher was telling my wife that she could kill my baby. Lisa realized it real quickly, and Lisa said, you realize you're talking about my child. When we come face to face and we grip, and when I hear of Planned Parenthood cavalierly talking about a choice to kill a baby, It is horrifying, and this body, through reconciliation, has addressed that. We're going to continue to, because there was a choice made this week. You had a chance to vote for life, and if you voted no, you voted against life. Don't try to make it any other thing. The country has a choice coming up this year. It can take a culture of life from conception to death, natural death, or it can continue to value life as man does, as throwaway, is maybe not good. You see, prioritizing and saying, this is what we believe, is what makes this life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness worth pursuing. They told us that Jordan would have trouble. They told us that Jordan, I actually had somebody one time in a town hall say, well, her quality of life may not be, you may have done her a disservice. Well, I choked back my anger tears, and I said, you don't know my daughter. You see, it's that time of the year when elections come around. My daughter just got back home from her job skills training. She's looking for a job. She's 23 years old. She's back home. She's going out to find where she can make a place in this world. She has a smile that will light up a room. Her little chair whips around faster than you can imagine. And I was thinking about even my own election, and my wife looked at me the other night and she said, you know, you realize you got something coming up this year. And I said, what's that? She said, your secret weapon comes home on Friday. She's Daddy's girl. You see, life is what you make it. Life is not what somebody else says your life is. When we have a culture of life, abortion is an abomination to that culture of life. It is why we need to continue every day to put forward a culture of life on this floor, Mr. Speaker. It is why we will continue to put forward a culture of life that says we value all. And when we do that, no one has to ask where Doug Collins stands. Doug Collins stands with life. Doug Collins stands of all. Because I'm one who believes that no matter who you see in the day, Mr. Speaker, when you look into their eyes, you see someone of infinite worth, of infinite value, not because of anything they've done, but because of the life that was put into them by their Creator. It is abortion that takes that away. It is why I will continue to come to this floor as many times as I possibly can and stand for life. Because that is the life and the liberty and the pursuit of happiness that our founders spoke of.